ladies. Hi Hustle and Sparkle friends, it's Sarah here, and today I'm talking to you about a topic that I unfortunately know a little bit too much about. It's procrastination. But I know I'm not alone out there because apparently 90% of us are procrastinators. Go procrastinators! And of those 90%, 20% are chronic procrastinators. So who's out there? Who's are chronic procrastinators? I've procrastinated all my life, whether it be in school, in business. It actually is a terrible feeling. We don't feel good when we procrastinate. We feel like we're unproductive. We feel lost. I think our friends might think that we're lazy, and it's not true. The thing about procrastination is that it makes easy things hard and hard things even harder. I actually even procrastinated in making this procrastination video. Ironic, eh? I think there's two reasons that people procrastinate, and since I have my PhD in procrastination, I can speak with authority on this. Procrastination stems from the need to be perfect, perfectionism, and two, feeling lost or overwhelmed for a project. Now with perfectionism, we have to get over the fact, or get over that ideal that perfectionism exists. We always want to do more, read more, research more, get another certification, wait until we have the perfect conditions to create some content or put something out there or to write that newsletter or whatever it will be. The reality is that perfectionism and procrastination are not good friends, and we need to break them up. We need to forget that perfectionism even exists. The reality is that putting something out there, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not the way you would love, putting something out there is better than doing nothing at all and procrastinating until the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist. And feeling overwhelmed with a big project, I'm going to talk about that in the video in a couple minutes. So I've been working on my procrastination habits and trying to get more productive for a long time. And I think I've gotten better. One of the things that I've done is work in time blocks. And actually I was doing this even before I knew it was a technique. So I felt pretty good about myself when I learned that it has a title and it's called a technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique. And I'll explain in the blog below where that title comes from. But essentially what it means is that you're going to work in a 25-minute time block. During that 25-minute time, you're going to actually turn on the alarm. So either on your computer or on your phone, turn on the alarm for 25 minutes. You're going to remove all the distractions. So turn off your phone, turn off your email notifications. You're not going to get lost in Facebook world. You're not going to be distracted, but for 25 minutes, you're going to work on a particular task. Now, at the end of those 25 minutes, you're going to get a 5-minute break. And you can go off and I like to leave the room, I like to go stretch, I'll top up my water, top up my tea. Now, the thing that works really great about this work for 25 minutes on a task and then give yourself a 5-minute break is that it gives you a deadline. And as a procrastinator, we work really, really well and really productive when we know the clock is ticking, when we know that there's an end, when we know that there's a time limit. So we work really well in that time. But it also creates a space that is, you have no distractions. Okay, you're creating an environment where you're not going to get pulled away easily by an email coming in or a text message that you feel you have to respond to. But it also gives you a 5-minute break. It gives you a break where you don't feel guilty about going off to do something else. You've allowed yourself a 5-minute break, so it's great. Now the only thing with the 5-minute break is make sure you also time that and that you don't take that break turns into a 15-minute or a 20-minute break. And I like to take the Pomodoro technique even further into like a 2-hour time block. So this works really well if you're somebody like me who has maybe multiple projects on the go. So for me, I have my charity, we have Hustle and Sparkle, I have my health and wellness business. So in one day, I'm working on multiple projects. So I might say in the morning, I'm going to give myself a 2-hour time block where I'm going to work on this particular project. Well, in 2 hours, I can actually accomplish 4 Pomodoros, right? 25 minutes plus 5 minutes, that's 30 minutes, and over 2 hours, that's 4 Pomodoros. Now in my agenda, I'll actually create an X every time I complete a full Pomodoro. And what I can do in that time block is at the end of the day, I can actually look back and see how productive I've been by how many Pomodoros are recorded in my agenda. So it's a really, really good way to keep track of your productivity and gauge how well you're doing. when you finished 4 Pomodoros, so 2 hours of concentrated work, you can actually reward yourself with a longer break. So, a 20-minute to a half an hour break. So it's a perfect time to go get lunch. If you want to get lost in Facebook world or read celebrity gossip, you can do that without guilt, because you know that you've worked really, really hard in your 2-hour time block. So the other thing that I've done to really overcome procrastination, and this relates back to that feeling of being lost and overwhelmed, is to become a Jedi master of the to-do list. Well, as women and entrepreneurs, we're all really good at doing to-do lists for our lives. We have lists everywhere, right? Taped to the fridge, taped, in our agenda. But creating a to-do list for a project, in my previous life as a PR executive, we used to call it the critical path. It is breaking out a project into all the little steps that's involved. So for example, if your task in the morning is to write your customer newsletter, instead of writing in your agenda, write customer newsletter. That's a big project. That seems overwhelming. Where do you start? Actually break down everything that's involved. So maybe in your customer newsletter, you have 3 articles. So write down Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, and what the titles are. Sourcing pictures for your articles. Doing my contest. What's my graphic banner? So write down all the tips that might be involved in that project. And then when you're sitting down to complete one of your Pomodoros, you can identify which task on your critical path that you're going to tackle. And it just seems a little bit easier to tackle a project when you know all the steps involved. So become a Jedi master of the to-do list. So 1, use your Pomodoro technique, your 25 minutes of concentrated, undistracted time, followed by a 5-minute break, your 2-hour time blocks where you reward yourself with a little bit of a longer break at the end of your 4 Pomodoros, and becoming a Jedi master of the to-do list. I know from experience that those 3 tips alone will make sure that you have a really productive day. And if all else fails, don't be afraid to set the restart button. If at 1 o'clock you're finding like your morning was terrible and you were distracted by this and that and a call and whatever it is, don't be afraid to press the button, restart the day, and start over with your time blocks and your Pomodoros. Have an amazing day. Procrastinators unite. We will be productive. Good luck with your business, and we'll talk to you soon.